Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me today. Welcome to my channel, and for all you fathers out there, happy belated Father's Day. That was yesterday. Hope you all had a great time. I myself had a wonderful time, and I attended the show with my kids, and I was able to pick up some books in the process. So when we come back, I'm going to show you what we have. All right, see you soon. Okay, and we are back. Comic Sniper here again. Thank you very much for joining me today. Welcome to my channel, along with my trusty sidekick, our Mark III. We welcome you, and happy belated Father's Day again to all you fathers out there. Hope everybody had a great time. For myself, I had a good time with spending some time with my kids. We actually attended a comic show together, so I really appreciated spending that time with them. And I know for them, they also enjoy themselves as well. So that's it's always a good thing. And so today I do have a few books that I wanted to share with you guys that I was able to pick up, and then we're gonna get right to them. Starting with, so I picked this up from this is just the one of from one vendor. I just saw this and thought it was pretty cool. I picked this up for $2. It's a Catwoman number 34. The reason why I picked this up, it's not a very it's not a key or anything, but it is a really good looking cover, and it has that Adam Hughes look to it. But it's actually done by Stefan Rowe. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. So that's but yeah, it's an awesome cover, really nice, high grade too, so couldn't pass that up for super cheap. Also, let me see, we also have, just gonna go off of the one else for now. Where is that one? I'll find it here in a second. Okay, so moving along. So with this next vendor, he had actually quite a bit of stuff that was really good, but a lot of it, sometimes their asking price before you talk to them, they have it kind of hyped up and priced up for the comic show. So it kind of turns you off sometimes. So you got to kind of go digging through some long boxes just to find some treasures. And I'm glad I did find some. So from this vendor, I picked up 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 books from this vendor. So the first one, starting with Marvel Premiere. This is number 28. This is first appearance of the Legion of Monsters, which is, I'm not sure why this book is actually taking off. It's starting to gain some ground as far as pricing is concerned, but I haven't heard much as to any action in the cinematic world on this. So if you guys have, please feel free to chime in and fill us in on what you guys know of this. But I would love to have to see some sort of Legion of Monsters. You've got Ghost Rider there. You got Werewolf, Morbius, and so forth. So yeah, anything that puts those guys on the screen, definitely, I'm all for it. Also picked up, this is the Human Fly number 1. Love that cover. Now, very unusual character. I don't ever think that he's gonna see the light of day. Possibly in a part of a TV lineup, that kind of thing. Maybe as a guest star somewhere. But his costume is really bright. So But you know, it's a cool. He's a cool character regardless. This is a #1. This is his first. I believe this is his first appearance. I could be wrong, but at least it's his first issue for his series. So I picked that up along same with the same vendor. I also picked up this. This is the first appearance of Devil, Dinosaur, and Moon Boy. I always wanted to have this. For some reason, it always kept getting away from me, or people were just asking too much for it. But otherwise, you know, really cool book to have. And then I also picked up, just to add to my SpiderMan collection, I'm trying to continue my run, you know, working up to, you know, eventually up to about 100, maybe a little bit more. This is number 65. No big key or anything major happening in this issue. Just a really nice, clean copy. It does have some spine issue, but I think with a little bit of work, I think I can clean that up. Otherwise, it presents really nice. Okay, and then lastly, from that one vendor, I was able to pick this up. This is Marvel Spotlight number 32. Now there is some grumbling. I've been, you know, hearing some rumors about possible appearance or maybe a cameo or to that effect from Kevin Feige. So who knows? I mean, I'd love to see Spider-Woman, you know, on the big screen at some point. I think she would make a great addition to the lineup. But and if that actually happens, you know, this book is just gonna go up in value. Oddly enough, after I picked this up and I was rummaging through the long boxes, and I had this along with the couple of other comics that I showed you in front of me. I heard somebody asking on, you know, the vendor if they had this book, and he pointed towards, you know, the area where I'd already picked it up, and this was the only copy, so I know I had it already, and I just kind of, well, you know, sometimes you snooze, you lose, right? So, all right, so that's from that one vendor. So I'm really happy to have that. This is, I think this is my second or third copy. I can't remember if I sold one already or not, but this is this is either a second or third copy for me. So make sure I have that. So I also stopped into and just picked up from just one vendor. This is just it's all he had that it was interesting enough for me to pick up. This was only for $1. John Carter's World of Mars. Now I'm not sure if he's gonna return back. His first movie, I guess it didn't. I thought it was kind of entertaining myself, but this is his first Marvel appearance, John Carter. So got that, and it's relatively cheap. It's not super high grade, but it's pretty clean. So happy to add that. And then next up, from the next vendor, I was able to pick up just 2 books. The first book is The Savage She-Hulk #1. Now I have multiple copies of this as well, and I have a slab copy of this, a 9/4, so near mint. Still hoping for something a little bit better. This isn't going to be that, but it is pretty nice. It does present well. There is not a lot of issue on it, and that's why I picked it up. It wasn't it was going for pretty cheap. A lot of other vendors are starting to really hike up the pricing for this book on anticipation that something could happen. So, but you know, sometimes you just have to keep looking and keep looking, and eventually, you know, it pays off, right? And then also from that same vendor, I was able to find this. This is Brave and the Bold #54. Big key. This is first appearance of the Teen Titans. Now I can't afford a super high copy of this, but this was priced just low enough for me to pick it up because there's a lot of issues. Look at that bottom of that. It has seen better days. And I did inspect this. I opened this up before I bought it because I can see so much issue on this already, so this is nowhere near high grade. The centerfold is detached, but that's only the centerfold. And oddly enough, even though this is in this shape, and I'm telling you, it doesn't get any, you know, it's about the same on the back. The staples on this front cover are both still attached. It's basically attached by a hope and a prayer, is what I'm thinking, because it is, you know, you whisper on it, and the cover is going to be off of this thing. So, you know, I'm just trying to be so careful not to move it around too much, because it is really it is on there just barely. But regardless of which, you know, I've never owned this book, and so you know, for me, even a low copy of a big key of this magnitude is always good to have. So, because I'm not planning on selling this. This is just one for my collection, just so I have it. So I'm pretty happy with that. So plus I didn't pay a lot for it, of course, you know, in this condition. So that's from that one vendor, you know. And then so from this other vendor, this one I picked up quite a bit. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 more books from this one vendor. Let's start off with this one. Static. Now this is Static number 1. This is still in the poly bag. So I checked it out. It's still sealed in the poly bag. Sometimes though that's not a good thing, because the back of the poly bag, it'll have where the poly bag is actually joined together. Over time, if it's been, let's say, lying down or stored wrong, what that'll do is it'll put a crease in the back. So, and I believe this this cover is kind of like cardboard-ish, so it's a lot harder to press to get out. Sometimes it's indented in, and it's not going to come out. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually bust it out of the poly bag or not. I'm kind of curious to see how well it stood up. It's not a big key by any means, but it's still a pretty cool character. You never know. There is a chance he could show up in some form in the DC universe, and if that's the case, you know, it's good to have it. All right. I also got from the same vendor again. This is just a cool cover. So cool. This is the Uncanny XMen number 213. This is the 212. Along with this one is their very first in time wise, like in actual issue. This is the first time they actually fought, and it was just a fierce battle. I love reading this, and that cover is just so iconic. You know, I've always loved this cover ever since I was a little kid. But I know Wolverine 10 claims to have you know, the actual first encounter, but that's not chronologically, right? That's kind of a throwback, like a memory of their first episode, of their first battle. But these issues came out first, and then that one came after, talking about their first battle. So in chronological order, 212 and 213 is actually their first epic battle, and what a battle, I tell you. Can't get enough of these, seeing those 2 issues. But so I'm happy to have this, and just awesome cover. Gotta love that. All right, and of course, never get away from the show without picking up some good Adam Hughes stuff. Check that out, Red Sonja. And so this one, of course, if you know, if there's people are starting to actually, the vendors, they're starting to get wind that, you know, people love Adam Hughes and they love collecting Adam Hughes. So I'm finding that it's getting harder and harder to pick up Adam Hughes issues for cheap. So before, you know, you can get 3, 4, 5 of them. You can, you know, and they're very low priced, and because there's usually not a big key inside the actual issue itself. But now that the vendors are starting to get wind of that, well, you know, the price is starting to reflect that. So, you know, whenever I still try to pick up Adam Hughes stuff. And I was glad to actually get two, because this vendor was not asking a lot for his Adam Hughes, and so I took advantage and I was able to grab two. This is Catwoman 72, and love that cover. So definitely Zatanna on front and center. That's awesome, beautiful, beautiful, high grade cover too, high grade book, sorry. And then lastly, from that same vendor, a big key. This one I don't currently have, and I'm glad to have it back. Uncanny XMen number 134. First appearance of Dark Phoenix. This is a huge key, especially on the back of the Phoenix movie that's going to be coming out. I'm pretty sure they're going to feature Dark Phoenix as well. Not just Phoenix, but actually Dark Phoenix. So this one, along with, of course, 101. 101 is the more sought after, more important key, but this one is also pretty important. So between the two of them, this covers the whole gambit. And then that, and then 137 were the death of Phoenix, Jean Grey Phoenix. Okay, so that's it for that one. And then lastly, I got 3 more books from the last vendor that I picked up from, and started with more X-Men. This is Uncanny XMen number 132. I've also noticed that, of course, the popularity of X-Men has always been there, always will be, you know, and so sometimes the vendors are, you know, will take advantage of that, and they even non-key issues, they will bump up the price. So all it does is, you know, you just have to work a little harder, look through, you know, more boxes to from different vendors to finally find some issues. Like right now, I'm collecting issues 194 up to about 200 or around 200 plus, and I've got some filler ones that I needed, and this is one of them. So I'm happy to have that. I was able to pick this up for, you know, pretty cheap. And second, I was able to also pick up its sister, number 133. So, and really nice grade too. And for these books, there's not a lot of issues with these two. Take a look. So I'm pretty happy that I found some good fillers and in really good shape too. And then the last one from that one, I got this pretty good grade copy, Daredevil 181. This is the Death of Elektra. I had this book before, as well as 168, the first appearance of Elektra. I recently acquired those again, so I thought I might as well have this one to pair the two of them together. Make sure they kind of go hand in hand. And so that was my haul. That's the ones I bought. But since it was Father's Day and my kids was with me, you know, they gave me a surprise that you know, I was so appreciative, because for Father's Day, along with a few other things, but this is one that, you know, I knew they were thinking of me, and they because they got me an Amazing Spider-Man 306. How cool is that? I always like this cover. I throw, of course, a homage to Action 1, Marvel's homage. And so, you know, as a father, even the fact that they know I love comics, and you know, my kids are actually like superhero characters as well. They're not as into it as I am. Actually, my daughter is probably second. So she comes with me quite a few times to the shows to hunt down some books, and they'll pick up stuff for themselves. You know, some cool action figures or whatnot. Picked up some pins, those kind of things. My daughter collects a little bit of comic books here and there, but not like not like myself. So you know, they knew I didn't have this issue, and so they were able to find a really nice copy. Check this out. You know, that is very nice. And for them to know that I didn't have this issue and that I would, you know, like it really touches my heart, you know. So love my kids, man. You know, that's and hopefully, like I said, hopefully for all you fathers out there, you were able to enjoy with your family. I hope that for everybody, and hopefully you had a great time too. So that's all I have, and thank you very much for joining me on this one. Like I said, had a great Father's Day, and then for all my subscribers, thank you very much. Again, I'll be having some names of my later subscribers on the screen. Thank you very much for finding me and watching my channel, and then as well for all you future you know, for you new people who haven't subscribed yet and just joined me for the first time, I welcome you to, you know, go ahead and subscribe. And all you have to do to have your name on future videos is go ahead and subscribe now. All right. And then of course, if you like my videos, if you like the you know, my haul videos as well as my other videos where I talk about stuff, I do unboxing as well. Make sure you hit the like button, and that'll motivate me to make more videos like this and share with you my collection. And then also, if you hit that notification bell, that's always a cool thing because you'll be notified when I make new videos as well. Okay, and of course, I welcome everybody and anybody to chime in. Give me your thoughts. Tell me what you did on Father's Day. Tell me what you got for a present. Always love hearing that, whether it be comic book related or not. That's you know, it's beside the point. It's just the joining in the discussion. Tell me what you think, and give me some feedback on which books you like, that kind of thing. All right. But aside from that, for everybody out there, happy Father's Day from yesterday, and thank you very much for joining me. I will see you again on the next video. Okay, bye bye for now.